Welcome. It's December 22nd, 2020. And what a year it's been. Here we are coming to the end of that right before the holiday season, or in the middle of the holiday season, I should say. And as I've always say, we are here for our weekly online global practice for reviving the global heart. And we gather every week to come together in community, to cultivate the skills of resilience and fierce compassion, training ourselves to take care of ourselves, and at the same time stay vital so that we can, if our heart's desire to be of service to others, to alleviate the suffering of others, to bring about more equity in the world, that we train ourselves to become nurturers, protectors, and as I say, midwives for a system that's dying away and a new system that is emerging. And it's great to see familiar faces. It's great to see new faces here, but for me, it's really touches my heart deeply to see faces I know, but haven't been part of this community. So it's really lovely to see you all. And we gather from around the world in support of one another. And the way we do this is I usually start with a little talk, setting the intention, lead you in the practice, and then we have time to reflect afterwards. And that every third Tuesday, we bring in a guest to share their wisdom and perspective. And I don't think I can express the depth in my heart of the honor of having La Sarmiento come and speak. Deep, deep gratitude. La is a dear, dear friend of mine. They have been a mentor and a teacher to me for so many years now, and they have been in tremendous support of me personally, and the beautiful ways that La has brought love and compassion to people, supporting in the respectful confrontation work. And if I may say, when I think of La, I think that they are, to me, the embodiment of loving kindness, if I think of that. I'm seeing some nods. Let me hear some nods there. La is, and I would also say an embodiment of authentic leadership. And La is currently the president of the IMCW, the Insight Meditation of Washington. And I also would say, the way I would see it, I don't know if anybody else would see it that way, that La has worked very hard for many years to bring more diversity to American Buddhism and to the American mindfulness movement with the deepest love and, I would say, patience in that process. La also leads two groups, BIPOC Sangha and an LGBTQIA Sangha. If you'd like more information on that, we can get that up for you. And La is a tremendous spiritual mentor. And they also bake the most amazing cookies. I think that's important to say. Not everyone has that skill. So I can say much more. And again, I don't think my words can describe the depths in my heart of my appreciation and love for La. And I'd like to pass it over. La is going to share with us how they see what's unfolding in the world right now and what it means, this idea of a revival of a global heart. So La, welcome.
Thank you so much, Joe. So good to be here with all of you, some of you whom I know and others are new friends. So thank you so much for taking the time in this crazy busy world to be together from all over the planet. Wow, Joe. As I listen to you and deeply take that into my heart, it's totally reviving it. And something that I want to share today about reviving our hearts at this time is really the importance of this practice that we do all the time of forgetting and remembering. So before I begin, I just want us to remember that our practice is one of remembering what we often forget or take for granted. May we, as members of this reviving the global heart community, support each other in remembering those that came before us and upon whose shoulders we stand, and from whose sacrifices we benefit. So I acknowledge that I'm leading this gathering on the unceded land of the Piscataway people and honor all traditional custodians of this region, appreciating the opportunity to live, practice, and teach on this land, and humbly ask the ancestors' blessings in being here. If you wish, I invite you to acknowledge the indigenous people of your region, whether you know who they are or not. I also pay respects to the enslaved African peoples brought to, held, and sold on this land and their descendants, and recognize the continuing struggle for liberation. I pay respects to the Asian ancestors from whom these teachings and practices that have deeply impacted my life and have been, where these practices have come and been preserved for the last 2,600 years. And I pay respects to elders past, present, and emerging. So I often like to start off anything that I lead with this reminder. It's so important. It's a fairly new practice that many spiritual communities and circles that I've been a part of have adopted, because we forget. And when we forget the true harm that has been caused, and invisibilize so many people that have made it possible for us to have what we have today. So something that I really appreciated about my dear friend Joe, who has been a mentor, a teacher, a beloved friend of mine, is his constant invitation to have us be uncomfortable. And as much as our humanity despises that, what I have found for myself in my own life is that is actually the key to true liberation, to true peace, to true happiness. Because when we are constantly seeking to feel good, to feel happy, to feel peaceful, it ignores a whole other aspect of our lives. I was in a therapy session over 10 years ago and was a little distraught. And I sat down and I said to my therapist, like all these meditation retreats, all these self-help books, all these human potential workshops I've taken these many, many years, ultimately it's not about being happy, is it? And she said, well, what do you think it's about, La? And I said, I think it's about being fully alive. And she said, you know what, La? Being fully alive is way better than being happy. And it totally changed the trajectory of how I approached life. Every day for the last 25 years, I've said this Tibetan prayer that goes, grant that I may be given the appropriate difficulties and sufferings on this journey, so that my heart may be truly awakened, and that my practice of liberation and universal compassion may be truly fulfilled. Appropriate difficulties and sufferings, not the drama we all create. You know, so even this pandemic, to me, is an appropriate difficulty and suffering. I often wonder, you know, what cosmic 2x4 needs to hit us upside the head before we finally get, you know, how we need to be together as human beings. And so a lot of that for me has come through the Buddhist teachings of impermanence, of accepting the truth of what is. You know, how often are we unable to just be in the present moment? You know, the practice is really simple. It's like, be here right now. And 2 seconds later, we're off into the future thinking about what we're going to have for lunch or what we're going to do later, or we're thinking about the past of things that we regret, right? And the cultivation of being present is actually the true gift. And so being able to pause long enough to recognize that we're feeling things, you know, we're often, you know, we feel a little bit of discomfort and our immediate response is to want to fix it, to want to change it, to want it to be other than it is. And do you ever notice, like, when that happens, what then happens is it just keeps coming back. It's just like this little kid that's like pulling, at your shirt saying, please pay attention to me, please pay attention to me. And all we're doing is saying, not now, kid, I don't have time for you. And so when we can take the time, when we can actually allow ourselves to pause long enough to give ourselves all the feels, even especially the feels that don't feel as good. Whether it's anger, disappointment, fear, irritation, aggravation, the more we ignore it, the more the more we resist, the more it will persist. And so just taking the time, there's studies have been done where the lifespan of an emotion is 90 seconds. If we just pay attention and watch how the lifespan of that may change. But how many of us actually carry emotions for decades and spend tens of thousands of dollars in therapy for it? I teach mindfulness to teenagers, and I often say to them, if you take this practice to heart and you really hone it, you will save so much money in therapy. And so to really allow ourselves to acknowledge that we're having feelings and to not have any shame about having them. I mean, we didn't grow up, many of us, I know myself, didn't grow up with a lot of emotional intelligence. My parents, weren't versed in it. They didn't really know how to express that, to us. And so as an adult, I've had to learn that for myself and take care of that little one that still feels afraid to come on a Zoom screen and talk to mostly strangers. It's like, it's okay. We did get a needs improvement in show and tell in kindergarten, and that was 51 years ago. So to really be present, allowing what is, that's what builds resilience, is sitting in discomfort and hanging out in it. And so here I am, we've gone through, 9 months, of this pandemic. And you're still smiling, you're still here, you're still breathing. Like, we can't take that for granted, and it really is this balance of holding what the Buddha calls the 10,000 joys and the 10,000 sorrows, as one, and that they coexist with each other. They don't have to negate each other. Like, we can't just always be joyful and negate the sorrow, or we can't all, just be down in the dumps all the time and forget our joy. So to not ever take anything for granted, to really appreciate yourself mostly and appreciate each other every day. And that's the biggest gift that I get from Joe. It's just this constant reminder of my own goodness. I'm sure he's offered that to all of you who are here today too. And it's bigger than any gift we can give each other. Who knew, back in March that, after seeing a friend for lunch, that you would never hug them again for another 9 months. And so it really is about taking on this present moment, living into it fully, embodying it, and and just allowing ourselves to just keep remembering, especially when we forget, and coming together in communities like these help us to remember when we forget, because we can't do it alone. It's impossible. And so I'm just going to close off with a little holiday sing-along, and I invite you to join me. And so I'm known for making little spoof songs, and if everyone would just mute yourself, because if we have everybody singing at the same time, it creates this cacophony of sound. So if you know the tune Up on the Housetop, you can sing along with me. Up in our minds we think lots of things, some inspiring, some that sting, believing the stories we know so well, the the ones that cause suffering and make it hell. Oh no, no, just let it go. Oh no, no, just let it go. Up in our minds we think lots of things, some inspiring and some that sting. It lives in our bodies, hearts and minds, through the practice of being kind. Having compassion is pure and whole. Dispelling heart is part of the goal. Oh no, no, just let it go. Oh no, no, just let it go. Up in our minds we think lots of things, some inspiring and some that sting. When we remember we are just good, get rid of the words can't and should. Accepting what is the thing that's hard. Life is not a Hallmark card. Oh no, no, just let it go. Oh no, no, just let it go. Up in our minds we think lots of things, some inspiring and some that sting. And then one more. The jingle bells dashing through this life towards some unreal goal. Tired, filled with strife, nothing fills our bowl. Wondering what it's for, this striving to succeed. Life can be a bore, so this is what you need. Oh, mindful bells, reminders to be kind. Remembering to laugh and sing is what to keep in mind. Mindful bells, help us to wake up. To love ourselves with all our hearts is sometimes a bit tough. Practicing is hard, to sit with all that comes. Watching without guard, stories and where they're from. Trusting in my truth, knowing that I'm wise. Discerning what is underneath that ego-filled disguise. Oh, mindful bells, reminders to be kind. Remembering to laugh and sing is what to keep in mind. Mindful bells, help us to wake up. To love ourselves with all our hearts is sometimes a bit tough.
Yeah, let's all applaud.
So just much love and many blessings to all of you as we enter this internal time of winter, and to really benefit, from the gifts of the slowness, of the darkness, of the peace. It's there. Just remember that it is. Thank you.
Thank you, La. Am I right or am I right?
Wow. You're right.
Loving
So I
kindness
wanna-
that can sing.
You are right. Wow.
So I want to take this this inspiration, this motivation into our practice as I lead you in this practice. Again, this practice of cultivating on a weekly basis, of cultivating more resilience and fierce compassion, and take these premises that La is sharing with us, that they so beautifully shared in not only words but in song. This idea of being fully alive. And, I say that, I've been saying that a lot lately. What if the most radical, most revolutionary thing we can do right now to be of service to this planet is cultivating our own resilience, finding the power and the courage and the strategies to step up and shine and be fully alive, and to cultivate and foster and deepen the alliances and relationships we have in a world that's trying to keep us distracted, keep us separate, in a pandemic that's actually exacerbating that. And not only is that service to ourselves and those close to us, but to service to the planet and all beings on the planet. So if you will, as we do every week, coming into a posture, I'll be leading you through this practice. There's no right way to do this. There's no wrong way to do this. It's about finding your way. Sitting in a way we call power sit, where you're comfortable, your spine is straight without being rigid, also elongating from the back of your neck, so you're tucking your chin in a little bit, relaxing your jaw, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your belly. If it feels safe for you to close your eyes, have more of an internal experience. And I invite you to bring your attention to a spot in your lower belly, what I would call your center, which is approximately the width of 3 fingers below your navel and a third of the way into the body, from the front of the body. Center of gravity, impulse, personal power, and awareness. In this practice, we're training ourselves to stretch into a more compassionate heart, to hold more beings in our heart, cultivate the resilience of that, and to move through the world from an embodied place of presence, awareness, balance, and flow. So from your center, your place of awareness, personal power, become aware of the parts of your body that are connecting with what you're sitting on. Chair, cushion, and the floor. Really feeling sensing the sensations of the body, gravity bringing you down closer, the pressing from your body against the chair and the floor, calling these your contact points, your anchor points. And as your body, your nervous system registers this sense of being held, that you're actually whispering a lullaby to your nervous system. You are held. You are supported. Allow yourself to be held. Honoring the lands that you're have the privilege to sit on at this moment, honoring the stewards and the protectors of those lands, the native people, indigenous people who have taken so beautiful care of these lands. From your center, become aware of your physical body. There's no need to do anything. It's no right or wrong. Simply from your core, from your center, become aware of sensation, listening to the body's wisdom, learning its vocabulary. From your center, become aware of your emotional body. What emotions are you present to? And from the spirit of presence, awareness, balance, and flow, allowing sensation and energy and emotions to simply flow through you. As La said, the more we can tap into a sense of feeling, regardless of how uncomfortable it is, the more we allow that to flow, the more vital we become. Present. From your center, become aware of your thoughts. From awareness, from your core, observing your thoughts, the quality of your thoughts. And from your center, and from now bringing awareness to your heart, or your heart center, the middle of your chest, where your heart power resides. Compassion, respect, dignity, courage, understanding. And from your center and from your heart, become aware of that part of you that may have access to something larger than yourself. Connection to something larger than yourself. And from that part of you, becoming aware in this present moment what your connection may be to something larger than yourself. Could be something spiritual, could be humanity, highest values. And in an honoring of a remembering of the goodness within yourself, with more of an awareness of yourself in this present moment from your center and from your heart. Take a full deep breath in through your nose, out through your mouth. With more of an awareness of yourself in this present moment from your center and from your heart, become aware of your surroundings, keeping your eyes closed and just opening your awareness in all directions, placing yourself in a context. As Lad said, be here, and now. With more of an awareness of yourself and your surroundings in this present moment from your center and from your heart, take a full breath in, deep in through your nose, out through your mouth. And with more of an awareness of yourself and your surroundings in this present moment from your center and from your heart, become aware of those who are here for this practice. Imagine us all sitting in a circle. Various places in North America, various places in Europe, maybe other parts of the world. From your center and from your heart, with the deepest honor and respect, connecting with those in this meditation circle. And from your heart, as you engage with these other beings, just acknowledging their goodness. And at the same time, letting yourself be seen. Each one smiling, as with deep reverence in who you are on this planet and all you have to offer. What a gift. With more of an awareness of yourself, your surroundings, and those in this meditation circle from your center and from your heart, take a full breath in through your nose, and out through your mouth. Now, with more of an awareness of yourself, your surroundings, and those in this meditation circle, stretching our heart muscle a little bit more from your center and from your heart, becoming aware of all human beings, beginning with those human beings that you would label loved ones. So from your center and your heart, in your mind's eye, who arises in your heart? What faces might you see? People that you would label as loved one. Groups of people, individuals. Just imagine in these darkest days of the year, from your center and your heart, with your level of fierce compassion and resilience, the light that radiates from you, that is fully received by those that you would call loved ones. Allowing energy to flow and emotions to flow. And from your center and from your heart, becoming aware of those human beings that you would label stranger. Who arises in your heart? What faces do you see? What groups of people? Could be a neighbor, someone at the supermarket, someone on the other side of the planet. And as you stand face to face with them, from your core and from your heart, again, radiating that light of who you are. Thinking that probably is about 7 billion of them in that category. How many of them can you reach? And from your center and from your heart, becoming aware of those human beings that you would label adversary. Stretching your heart muscle. And who arises in your heart? Maybe particular faces or groups of people. And just imagining or seeing in your mind's eye you standing in your resilient power, with your fierceness, your heart open, radiating your light to them, allowing them to see you in your power, and your vitality. With more, and now just noticing with this awareness, as you engage with these all human beings, that each one of them can find in their hearts their own humanity, their own goodness, their own light. And what a world that would be. With more of an awareness of yourself, your surroundings, and those in this meditation circle, and all human beings, regardless of how you label them as loved one, stranger, or adversary. From your center and from your heart, take a full breath in through your nose, and out through your mouth. Noticing the effects of this practice so far, and sense of presence, aliveness, awareness, vitality, resilience, heart opening. Take that into your nervous system, as a way of remembering this. Now bringing all human beings into your heart as you bring your focus back to those in this meditation circle. So bringing the entire human family back with you as you now engage again with your fellow practitioners. We're all holding all human beings in our hearts at this moment. With gratitude and honor and respect, taking all of those in this meditation circle into your heart as you bring your focus back to your surroundings. Gratitude of having a home, having warmth for your surroundings. Take your surroundings into your heart. Bring that all back to yourself. And taking a moment to shine that light for yourself, exclusively for yourself, to remember your own goodness, celebrating you in this moment. And with the benefits of what you've just generated, allowing that to flow into your core, like as if your core is a battery and you're filling up your core. Every day filling your core so you stay vital. Don't run on empty. Allowing this energy to flow into every cell of your body, activating and bringing to life every cell in your body. Seeping into every organ. And finally to your nervous system to help it remember a way of being that you can walk into the world. Let's take one final breath to close this practice. In through your nose, out through your mouth. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Looking around your room, stretching, shaking. So as always, we started with a motivation with La's beautiful words. We did our practice. We now have some time to reflect. So as always, if you'd like to unmute, feel free to share what's on your heart. Any thoughts or discoveries that you had based on what La shared or in the practice, feel free at this moment. If you have direct questions for La, please do, or appreciations. I know how much they love that.
La, I have heard about you for so long, and I am wildly grateful to receive the transmission from you today and to feel the centered, peaceful, real, direct messaging from your heart and the invitation to be incredibly human, each one of us, and in doing so, to be wildly aware of the privilege and the responsibility of all that we are. So deep bow, so grateful. And thanks for the songs, they were awesome too.
Thank you, Shelley. Thank you.
So another Shelley to follow. It's been a minute, and I wish it hadn't. I realized how much I missed hearing you when I was caught up in what I thought was my life, but it was crap, actually. You're talking about discomfort is so resonating for me because I have embarked on a journey of loving pain because pain is growth and trying to convert dirty pain into clean pain because dirty pain is a waste of pain as far as I'm concerned. And it's been very painful. and I wish I were more able to be eloquent in the ways that I've heard you be today and at other times in terms of sharing the beauty and the discomfort that discomfort and pain can bring into our lives. I just struggle with that because I'm so convinced of the value, and yet I cause pain, and I find myself trying to say to people, "Oh, it's a gift. It really is. I didn't mean to hurt you, but now that I have, it's a gift. Use it. Don't waste it." And I just don't know how to handle that. And I'm hoping that between you and Joe, if I live long enough, maybe I'll figure it out. So, but thank you. And thank you for bringing the ukulele for lunch. So, thank you.
Thank you, Shelley.
I also would like to thank you, La, for your presence and your wisdom, and Joe as well. When you talked about being held and feeling the surface you're on, the image that came up to me is like this. They're almost like cocoon-like kind of quote unquote seeds that hang from the ceiling, which kind of like sort of bird's nest open to the front. And I found myself in one of those and just swinging freely. And it was just, I don't know how to describe it, but it felt safe and free and powerful. And I was sitting there with tears streaming down my face because I had to recognize the power within me and the power that each one of us have. And also what gave me such solace is that yesterday was the longest night and the days are getting longer again, and the light is going it's going to shine brighter. So thank you all.
Thank you, Christian.
Things are getting lighter. Things are getting lighter. Anyone else?
Yeah, I wanna. It's Aisha, bowing in. How you doing, baby?
Hey.
So as as always, I'm just appreciating on the law and the courage um, that they have had over these many years to show up with people that don't look like them and don't roll like them in so many ways. And their courage has encouraged me over these years to be in places with people that don't look like me and don't roll like me. And the gift of them and the gift of my choice to follow their example is to know that we can come together in our heartbreak. And so I am just pleased to, I woke up in heartbreak and deep grief this morning. And so that's what I offer this container that we've created together, is that grief and heartbreak.
Thank you, Aisha. I know Aisha, and if you don't know her, all I can say is that Aisha expresses love in a way that is so unique, that cuts right through. It is so powerful. That's all I want to say. Anyone else before we close?
I will. This is my first time meeting you, Law, so thank you. What a delight. I want to just point out how grateful I am that you discussed the beauty and the power of the darkness in the night and the darkness of winter, and how I find that resonates deeply within me, and I take great comfort in it, and I find a nurturing in it and a safety and restfulness. And I think there's true gifts there for us. So as much as I love the light extending again, I do think you're right about the darkness and the great gifts of it. So thank you.
I wish we could all be like little bears, just hibernate. Sometimes I feel like animals are so much wiser than we are.
I love that you said not just bears, but little bears.
Thank you.
All right, well, thank you. Thank you to you all. We started with a motivation. We did our practice. We had a chance to reflect, and we're going to end with the dedication. Before we do that, I'd like to just make sure that you all have La's information. Their email, their website address, I believe, is lasarmiento.com. Todd, would you mind typing that in? And as we always say, that this is offered freely. We do take dana, we do take donations. So from your heart, if you want to offer something, all the money that would go to this goes to the Fierce Civility Project, which is the new body of work I'm developing and that we're all working on to soften the gridlock of polarization, get us back to our humanity. As some of you know, I've started a series called the 8 Ailments and 8 Remedies of Spiritual Deficiency. What's unfolding, that we started last week with number 1, and we'll continue in the sessions that I'm leading. So feel free to continue to join us for that. We're here every Tuesday, and if you want to join us, please do. Please tell other people about this. It's always good to see people, particularly people from different parts of the planet. We will be here next week. Was there anything else, any other announcements you wanted to say?
I'm good, Joe. Thank you so much. Just wishing everyone many blessings and protection from illness and harm during this holiday. And yeah, just may you have all that you need.
So let's take that into our dedication. Thank you, La. May this practice be the causes of us having everything we need, finding our own light, sharing that with others, that others may find that as well in their darkness. I continue that all our essential workers, that they be well protected, that we understand how powerful and important and necessary they are, how much we take for granted. May all beings on this planet have enough fresh water to drink and food to eat. And may all governments and leaders govern from a place of wisdom as opposed to fear and greed. So be well, enjoy the darkness and the light, and we'll see you again next week.
Bye bye. Thank you. Happy holidays.